Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestle Plug. I am, of course, Aaron Nix, and joining me to discuss WWE Raw on a quick fire review for YouTube exclusively is Kyle Wilkinson. Welcome, Kyle.
Thanks for having me, and we've already got something big to talk about.
Yes, we have. Becky Lynch is pregnant. Congratulations to the man. Who would have thought it? The first man to ever give birth. I am astonished. Yes, the man will be a mother.
Science has come a long way.
I know, this is weird. The man will be a mother because the man gives you whatever. You're confusing me, Becky. God damn it. Yeah, Becky Lynch, pregnant, and of course, with that, she has decided, I hope this was her decision, to hand over the women's title to the winner of the Women's Money in the Bank, which of course was Asuka. So Asuka is now the WWE Women's Champion on Raw, and Becky Lynch will now go away to be a mother, which is wonderful stuff. And even somebody who's not a huge fan of Becky Lynch like me can happily admit that is a wonderful thing, and I hope that she and Seth have a lot of incredible happiness, and huge congratulations to Becky Lynch. And speaking of cases, there is no Women's Money in the Bank case anymore because Asuka's win signified her as Raw's WWE Women's Champion.
Yeah, I think that's it's fantastic. I think we all assumed that the Money in the Bank match was recorded weeks ago, or at least last week or sometime.
Yeah, I believe the decision was probably made after the fact.
Like sometime today, maybe, like whenever Becky took the test. So it's like you already said, I can't add much more. It's absolutely beautiful. I wish her and Seth nothing but the best. And as a cherry on top, we now have Asuka at the top of the Raw Women's division, and there's no one better suited for it.
It feels like everybody's won in this scenario, and that's what I like about this. It's the fact that, Becky Lynch is obviously going to do something really special and is going to achieve a dream, and that dream, of course, being a mother. And on top of things, she leaves the belt in. I know what's going to happen here, and I guarantee there will be some fuck nugget on social media who's probably screaming about it right now, saying that, oh, she didn't win the fucking belt properly, she doesn't fucking deserve it. At the end of the day, nobody since this pandemic situation has hit has worked harder and given more to entertain fans, especially on the women's side of things, than Asuka. She's been phenomenal. She's been hilarious. She's been entertaining. She's laying her hand at commentary. She's been going out there and having killer matches. She is, like Becky Lynch even said, the best women's wrestler in the world, and I really do agree with that. And I've said that several times on this podcast. I believe Asuka to be the best women's wrestler in the world. She is phenomenal. Everybody she gets in the ring with looks better for it, and because of that, I think that belt is in very safe hands with her. And of course, you've got this phenomenal built-in rivalry, because let's be honest, who does Becky Lynch have her best matches with? Asuka. Who does she have her best rivalry with? Asuka. Other than Charlotte, of course, who's another great rival of hers. But this is fantastic because it means that when Becky Lynch is ready to come back, her and Asuka have a beautiful built-in rivalry, hopefully. And of course, Asuka in the meantime can have amazing matches with some amazing women across the roster, including that dream match I've been after of Asuka versus Shayna Baszler. Backlash? Yes, please. So hot off the heels of that fantastic news about Becky Lynch, we got a load of flim-flam. We got Bobby Lashley destroying Humberto Carrillo. Boring. Just don't care, although it is nice to see Bobby Lashley being presented in a more serious format. And we also had some nice little moments. Obviously, Becky being backstage, that was nice too. Obviously, celebrating her pregnancy, of course, with so many of the Raw roster. Garza runs over Akira Tozawa. This leads to Drew McIntyre coming out because it's time for a Claymore party, and he kicks the living bejesus out of everybody and has a whopper match with Andrade. And once again, the star of this match, other than of course Drew's Glasgow kiss, is Zelina Vega and her hysterical facials and acting at ringside. Thought it was great stuff, really good fun. When you have Andrade versus Drew McIntyre in the ring, you know it's going to be good. And then, to top that all off, to process all that information, we find out that due to the new invitational rules that they've brought in, Drew McIntyre will face King Corbin next week on Raw, because nothing says massively overwhelmed than Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I mean, this just sounds like the wild card rule again, doesn't it? That went really
I like
well.
Baron Corbin, but this is your opportunity to have dream matchups, and instead you throw you've got Baron Corbin coming over. So, Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, time for a moment of bliss. They're all so adorable together, those two. They were interrupted by the Iconics. The return of the Iconics. It's been quite a while since we saw the Iconic, which I don't know why, but they seem to have warmed on me quite a lot, and I imagine having a break from them helps as well. But they had an impromptu match, and the ladies, the returning Iconics got the win. So obviously they'll be most likely next in line for a tag team title shot, it would seem. And it's probably good timing because now that the Kabuki Warriors are pretty much detained, especially with Asuka now being the Raw Women's Champion, that doesn't leave a lot there for the women's tag team division.
Yeah, especially since Mandy and Sonya broke up, there's not a whole lot left, to be honest. Bayley and Sasha are doing their own thing with Bayley as SmackDown Women's Champ. I think they teased Dana Brooke and Carmella, but honestly, for the most part, there's no women's tag teams left. At least on SmackDown and Raw.
There's no tag team division, if I'm being honest. I think that's what pisses me off the most, is the fact that, so you've got this minimal amount of tag teams. You've got Bayley and Sasha Banks. Oh, we're going to put the title on it. Okay, that's fine. What about, Asuka's got a belt. Great. So you've completely killed whatever little credibility these belts had. These belts are a complete joke. I'm sorry, they are. And I really wanted the women to have more than one belt. I really did. And the tag team division sounded great on paper, but with the severe lack of them using NXT talent, and obviously the pandemic hamstringing them as well, it's just pointless. It really is pointless. And to be honest, I didn't think much of the match either. It was all right, but these are not great workers. These are entertainers. Nikki Cross is definitely the worker of the four women out there. I love Peyton Royce, obviously. I'm very happy to see Peyton Royce on my screen because, wow, as Vince McMahon would say about Gary Stridham. But I don't know, something just didn't strike well with me here. So, it is what it is. One thing I want to talk about, though, is Rey Mysterio explaining how his life flashed before his eyes before he realised that he landed on a second roof just 6 feet down from where he was thrown over by the evil Baron Corbin. And then he found Aleister Black landing right next to him on that beautiful mattress that nobody seemed to see but me. There was an image, actually, that was released of it that's on Twitter that people can check out, which will probably link up with the YouTube video on this. And yeah, there was actually, when the camera panned around the roof of the building, you could actually see the mattress, the big fucking crash pad thing set up for people to see, which is beyond fucking stupid. But keeping it relatively kayfabe, are you okay with Rey Mysterio's explanation as to how he didn't die?
I mean, not really. I mean, I know 6 feet isn't that high, all things considered. Like, pretty sure most of their standard ladders are between 10 and 15. But you're still hurled off a roof. Sure, there might be a second level right there, but at least, sell it for a week. I would have been happy with that. If they just said, hey, Rey Mysterio, he landed on a roof level lower, but, still has some serious injuries, he'll be back next week. I would have been fine with that. But just coming back the very next night, giving Becky a big ol' hug, and as touching as that was, not a big fan.
Yeah, not cool at all. I think they probably realised after the fact and thought, shit. So, it is what it is. And also, I genuinely think they probably would have run with it a little bit, possibly, until someone probably dropped that image and went, nice one, WWE, we can see the crash pad. You fucking morons. But it is what it is. Rey Mysterio lives. What do you think about WWE having absolutely no clue how to book loads of their African-American talents? We had the 6-man tag with Brendan Fink, who apparently everyone's getting very excited about. No idea why. He's just a large Australian man. And to be honest, you had Nathan Jones, and he was almost a foot taller than the guy. So I don't know what you expect me to give a shit about here. He's all right. There's nothing wrong with him, but there's nothing fantastic about him, if you ask me. Sorry, Jack, if you are listening, but Shane Thorne, fucking boring as well. Don't care. R-Truth, though. What the fuck is this? I bet you loved this, didn't you? I thought this was fucking shit. if I'm being honest. What the fuck is he doing with that goofy teeth in, pretending to be someone? Like, everyone, rightfully so, R-Truth is revered for being such a fun, cool guy. And he is. He's very entertaining, and he's done some amazing stuff, and he's made the 24/7 championship feel relevant and all these different things. But this was fucking garbage. What the fuck? Like, is he mentally unstable or something? I don't really get this. This is not that much different from Eugene in a lot of ways. It's funny, isn't it, how everyone lost their shit over Eugene, and rightfully so, because it was so fucking distasteful. But yet with R-Truth, it's like, oh, he's just being funny. Really? This is what passes for comedy now? Like, some of his stuff is great. This, for me, was fucking hot garbage. And then it's compounded by MVP comes out to jump him, gets pinned with a shitty lariat, because of, hold my teeth ref, which is weird because it wasn't even a match. And like you pointed out to me, it wasn't for the 24/7 championship. Why was this even a sanctioned match? So MVP gets pinned immediately. Then Bobby Lashley comes out and decks him. And then Bobby Lashley and MVP leave. Like, fuck me. What? Shit. Sorry, shit. We've had some wonderful stuff on this Raw, but this, for me, hot garbage. And I'm getting a little bit fed up with R-Truth going, and just running around and doing dumb shit. Like, at a certain point, it's funny, and then it gets further on, and you just think, okay, wind it in now, I'm a little bit bored.
I mean, that's exactly how I feel about, Billy Kay's doing that, you got to be joking me thing. That was funny when it happened. It was funny for...
It's not organic now.
Yeah, exactly. It was funny, like, the few times after she did it, but now it's just tedious. I don't care. And it's the same about R-Truth. He's tedious unless he has the 24/7 title or is involved in the title picture. The fact that his career's lasted so long is actually incredible because he's done virtually jack shit. Like, what's he done? I think he had a U.S. title run at some point. I think.
He beat Shinsuke Nakamura in a really messy match. Oh. Remember, he pinned him after a 2 count. It was very weird, and he had the U.S. title for about 2 or 3 weeks and then lost it.
Yeah. I mean, Chris, at least in TNA, he was like at least 2-time NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. And then now I don't fucking care. The only thing I can take away from that whole 6-man tag is the fact that MVP will hopefully do for Bobby Lashley what Leo Rush had done and kind of unlock his fullest potential because they're kind of presenting Bobby as a badass now. Him and Lana seem to have separated. I don't know what happened there, but don't care. That's fine. MVP can do the talking and Lashley can just batter people, and that's all he needs to do.
Yeah, I like it. Although having the premise of it set up via R-Truth is fucking stupid as well. Like, oh, he's a credible threat. He's going to be a monster. He's going to be a destroyer. Look what he did to R-Truth. Oh, okay, great. Don't give a shit. I like R-Truth, but his actions and what he does on Raw, that should be limited solely to 24/7 shenanigans. Him rolling people up out the back of automobiles and things like that. That's great. That's fun. I have no problem with that. I'm not anti-fun whatsoever. But when he's out there and he's in a 6-man tag and he's going and do that goofy, I thought that was fucking stupid. I thought it was borderline mentally, whatever, just unstable, stupid, unbelievably dumb, and it didn't sing with me whatsoever. It just didn't really fly with me. I just thought it was fucking trash. I really did. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that Rey Mysterio is now blind in one eye. So Rey Mysterio, right, what a weekend he's having. He gets violated by Shayna Baszler. He then gets squashed between Nia Jax and Otis, although upside, he did get to rest his head on those wonderful bosoms that Nia Jax provided for him. Then he gets thrown off of a building. Luckily, he lands on a mattress, so I guess there is some luck here. Then he gets blinded by a maniacal Seth Rollins in admittedly a decent tag match where Seth and Buddy took on Rey and Aleister Black. By the way, Aleister Black alive as well, all things healthy and well-being, so that's good, I guess. What the fuck was this? Why is Seth Rollins going psychotic? And also, after the fact, Ray's in the training room, which, by the way, right, this pissed me off, because if he's genuinely if he's genuinely injured and had the opportunity to lose his sight or whatever it might be because of this injury, what the fuck is he doing in the trainer's room? Should be in an ambulance. If this happened in real life, he'd be straight down A&E. This is what fucks me off, right? I like wrestling. I appreciate that I have to suspend my disbelief, but not when Ray is he's just sitting there in the trainer's room. And the only thing I really liked about it was how Aleister Black, bless his heart, was genuinely furious and wanted to defend his honour. I did like that, but I don't get this. I really don't get this. So are we suggesting now that Seth Rollins, because he lost to Drew McIntyre, is having blackout moments? Is that what we're getting at? I don't get it.
Yeah, it seemed like he kind of... It just reminds me of Festus. If we remember Big Luke Gallows' first run in the WWE when he was Festus.
Changes.
Yeah. And I know he didn't change when the bell rung, but like he didn't do anything until there was some sort of physical contact that he lost his shit, and then he goes back and tries to apologize. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm interested in this. I think this is pretty neat, but I'll need to see where it goes. If we're gonna get more Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, that's fine. I'm more than okay with watching those two throw down, but I don't know. I'm both intrigued and skeptical about this Seth Rollins thing. I don't understand it, but that's also because it just happened. Give it some time, and maybe they could do something cool with it.
That's exactly it. If it has the right end game, then I'm okay with it. But speaking of games...
oh my God.
Wait. Oh, I cannot wait for this. This is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. Now, with the best will in the world, we are not black gentlemen. And this is made very clear. Now, I'm mixed race. Kyle is very white. There's nothing wrong with that either, by the way. I don't want people coming at me going, you're shaming white people, fuck you. So, basketball. Viking Raiders versus Street Profits in a basketball 2-on-2 pickup. Fuck's sake. So I know that because of who they are and because of how entertaining they can be, people are going to be like, oh yeah, this is great. Now, last time I checked, the Viking Raiders were, beasts, monsters, destroyers. And now they've become comedy goofy twats. So, I'm going to be called a miserable old man here. I thought this was fucking trash. I didn't find it funny. I thought it was shit. By the way, it also was very dumb because right at the end, they make the shot, don't they? I can't remember which one Raymond Rowe is. I'm just going to call him Raymond Rowe because fuck either, I know. So Rowe hits that lovely fucking jump shot and gets a fucking 2-pointer right at the end. And I'm supposed to believe that apparently that was just him being lucky when you could clearly tell that this guy is an athlete and probably could have put up quite a few points in his own right. Am I the only person who thought this segment was a little bit low-key racist and dumb? Not just because it made, I've got no problem with white people looking stupid from time to time because of white privilege, and it's absolutely a thing. But I actually thought it was a little bit racist if in the Street Profits. I know they were having a good time with it, but my God, the stereotypes. Now, white man can't jump and all this, and overly enthusiastic screaming and shouting, and it just felt trashy. This was like, what this was like 4 douchebags trying to recreate their favourite moments from Space Jam. I thought it was crap. I really did. And I am a huge NBA fan, but yeah, that was garbage.
Yeah, that was something. You could tell that the Viking Raiders were purposefully kind of overselling the fact that they're not supposed to be athletes on the hardwood. Because, like, you could see, like, they're fucking tossing the ball up into the ceiling or purposefully missing shots. And it was just painful to watch. This is so dumb. This is some sort of racial, cultural appropriation. And it doesn't make any fucking sense. Do you remember the Viking Raiders in NXT? Or, I don't even remember what their tag team was called in there. Were they the War Raiders? I think it was War Raiders in NXT. And they were fucking dominant. They were incredible. You remember back to like their times in Japan and Ring of Honor and stuff, just being fucking these destructive machines. And now they're stupid fucking goobers playing on the basketball court. What the actual fuck?
I mean, I just thought it was fucking dumb. Now, to be fair, they kind of redeemed it, after the break, so to speak. After Shayna Baszler had ruined Natalya, by the way, which I thought was fucking gorgeous. So they kind of redeemed it slightly. They had... basically, the insinuation was that the Viking Raiders were kind of hustling them, and then they start making shots. Warbeard Hanson, he's just lobbing up 3-pointers, boom, 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 boom. He even does the Jordan slam dunk, and they just remember, anything you can do, we can do better. And it's like, oh, okay, they've sort of redeemed themselves. But this segment doesn't help anybody. Because, first of all, it's, look how competent the Street Profits are at basketball. The thing that they're supposedly really good at because they're black, which is basically what they were saying. And then they follow up with, meh. They just go back to it. They're like, it's almost like they went back on it. They thought, we can't make our white fans too upset, so let's have the white guys actually be better than them at the end of it. What was the fucking point? Pointless. I don't think this helps your tag team division. And like you said, can you imagine the Viking Raiders? You think they were, like a few years ago, but when they're running around in JPW having these hard-hitting, strong-style matches with Los Cinco Panafre de Apon and the Critters of Destiny, did you ever think they'd find themselves 2 or 3 years down the line with 2 incredibly enthusiastic black lads playing a shocking game of pick-up basketball? Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Wrestling.
So whack.
Now, Shayna Baszler, she runs over Natalya. I actually thought this was quite a good match. Very short, very succinct, some nice technical abilities. And also, by the way, can we just mention the fact that Shayna Baszler was on fire? Her relentless abuse of Becky Lynch becoming pregnant, calling her barefoot, saying that she was going to eat bonbons and sit on her sofa barefoot and fat. Brilliant stuff. Also calling the future baby a parasite. Great heel fare. And I know that the Becky stands are going to be triggered by that, but I don't really care because it's good. That's what a heel does. You're supposed to hate the heel. And it was a good match too. Any thoughts on this, mate, before we discuss the final promo?
No, I don't think there's much more to add. I mean, just Shayna being fire on the mic as usual. And like you said, all the Becky stands are just going to lose their mind. They're like,
But Shayna Baszler can't cut a promo. She's boring because she doesn't talk for 25 minutes at a time.
Yeah, that just sounded like fucking Hannibal Lecter is all that sounded like.
Really? So, awesome. All right, stick that in the impression group. So we got what we got now. We got Vince McMahon, Vince Russo, Cleveland Brown, Donald Trump, and Hannibal. I'll tell you what a round table that would be for an evening. That's a dinner and a half. I tell you what, mate, I would be all for that. And no, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to give you a podcast with all 5 of those celebrities meeting at one time, not unless you fucking pay me first. Now then, speaking of money, Edge. Oh, he's so hot. Oh, Edge, he's so hot right now. Every time I see him, I just feel like, I forgot his name now, Magatu in Zoolander, where he's just like, Hanson, he's so hot right now. I just see fucking Edge and I'm like, oh my god, Edge, he's so hot right now. He's always hot. He's so good. Man crush intensifies. Edge versus Orton. I thought we were going to get a match. Apparently not. They're on a collision course though. And they cut a very good promo. Once again, these two delivered the mic work that nobody else can right now. I genuinely think these two as a rivalry is the best thing WWE's had for the better part of 2 or 3 years now. Very weird, very jarring though. So Orton comes out, congratulations Edge, you were the better man. Then he sort of comes back and he's like, oh no, just can't do it. Just can't do it. Edge was going to say that he was going to move on, but he's not moving on. And Orton challenges him to a wrestling match, which is fine, but it raises a few questions. What did you think about all of this? And obviously the impending match that will no doubt take place at WWE Backlash, which is their next pay-per-view.
I mean, I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, I love Edge. I think that's been well documented. The match itself will be good. I mean, it's kind of an anticlimax after the what I thought was a fucking fantastic street fight. I know people think, it went too long.
I'm sorry to correct you, but I think you'll find that it was 1 star because it went longer than 20 minutes.
Nope.
You didn't have enough shooting star pressing.
Absolutely not. Nope. Nope. I refuse to accept this as a reality.
Dave Meltzer says it's 1 star, therefore no Tokyo
That archaic
Dome.
dinosaur can lick my sweaty taint.
Now there's
yeah, he can fuck right off. The match will be fine. The promo was brilliant. The fact that Randy said wrestler a lot, which I thought was on Vince's list of no say words, kind of threw me off a bit, but it was still pretty cool. The concept, writes itself. The better man won, but the better wrestler didn't, as Randy said. Yeah, it'll be brilliant. It won't be as exciting, obviously, as a street fight, but sometimes even just one-on-one, like normal singles matches, can just have a special quality about them. I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but just having these two one-on-one, corner to corner, I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I have no doubt that as an actual match is going to be amazing, and I have no doubt that they'll build it as that as well. What I have a problem with is the fact we've kind of gone in reverse. Now, I don't really mind people breaking tradition, as everybody knows. Anyone who knows me personally knows I don't really conform to much, and so I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm unhappy that they're not conforming to traditional values. But the idea of this rivalry, he RKO'd his wife, he RKO'd him, he tried to end his career again before it even started, and all these vicious things happened. They had this vicious, incredible street fight. Fuck you, it was fucking good at WrestleMania. I don't care what people say, it was absolutely phenomenal, but it was very much the end story, the end game. And I really wanted to see them, just go hell for leather and say, right, we don't know how much of Edge we're going to have going forward, so let's chuck him in there. Let's give him every possible opportunity. Let's give him some Hall of Fame caliber matches. Let's have him have a run at the title, possibly even be champion. And we may still get that, and that's fine. But instead, it's like, okay, so you beat me in this violent collision. Now I'm going to face you in a wrestling match. Nothing fresh. Nothing exciting, no gimmicks, just me and you wrestling. Because when it's all said and done, you've got grit, you've got passion, but I'm the better wrestler. Now, that would have been a fantastic rivalry of its own right to start off with. And then maybe they should have escalated it afterwards. For me, they should have had the wrestling match at WrestleMania. They should have had this incredible contest built up. It was kind of like, I respect you, Edge, but I'm a better wrestler. Edge gets one up on him, then they escalate to the violence, to the next one. But maybe this is their idea of giving Orton the win back, 50-50 booking, which, by the way, is fucking horseshit in its own right. The one thing that really pissed me off, however, is when Charlie Caruso, now I love Charlie Caruso, not only is she a beautiful woman, but I think she's very good at her job. I think she adds something to this product. I think she's really cool. I also love her incessant flirting with Hector Garza. I think it's very funny, especially as the man is engaged. But what really fucked me off is when she said, well, if this match does happen, it will most likely be the greatest match of all time. Fuck off. Whoever told her to say that needs a punch in the fucking chops. Greatest match. I love Edge. I love Orton. I think they are definitely two of the generation's greatest ever wrestlers. But to say them two wrestling each other will be the greatest match of all time. Talk about shitting on your entire company's history. Ridiculous statement.
Yeah, when I heard that, I kind of gave my television a double take. I'm like, beg your pardon? What did you just say? But, okay. Yeah, if Kevin Dunn told her to say that, or, I don't know, if Vince told her to say that, we should probably drown him in a pool of his own steroid. I don't know. That's actually ridiculous. But I don't know, man. I'm excited for the match. It's in no way going to be the best that WWE has ever had, let alone the wrestling world has ever had. But
yeah, it's no Jenna versus Orton, is it?
True. Backlash 2017.
Exactly. See, Backlash, mate. Fucking continuity here, ladies and gentlemen. Backlash is where they crown the great. So it'll be great. It'll be absolutely fantastic. And to be honest, I actually thought Raw was quite entertaining. Once again, I've said this every week, and people just don't seem to be believing me. Raw is really good. There was some fucking dog shit here, mostly involving African Americans, and that's nothing to do with me hating on black people. That's got everything to do with Vince McMahon not having a clue how to book anybody of color. You fucking moron, Vince. However, I thought Raw was excellent, really good fun, very entertaining. Some great wrestling content, some interesting storylines, some intrigue, and we also had some real high caliber stars. Seeing Edge versus Orton for me makes these shows so much better because you feel like you've got a chance to see it. Very much like I imagine a lot of fans were when they saw John Cena, particularly when he was starting to slow down. You know, it's a treat to see a star of that caliber. And when you see Edge and Orton there, you know, obviously you're not in the arena per se, you're watching from TV as we all are, but I just thought that worked really well. And I thought Raw was very good. I look forward to seeing what they're going to do going forward. Not sure if I'm looking forward to SmackDown quite as much as Raw, but it is what it is. Cheers for joining us, mate, to discuss Raw. Say goodbye to the fans.
Goodbye, fans.
What a fucking tool. Anyway, he's our tool, ladies and gentlemen. He works for us, God damn it. Those Canadians, they'll work for next to nothing, I tell you. Anyway, if you agree with us, or maybe if you disagree with us, perhaps you've got your own opinions on what went down on WWE Raw, and we want to hear them, and that is why there is a comment section directly below this video. So leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of WWE Raw. Are you excited for Edge versus Orton in just a wrestling match? Are you intrigued at all by R-Truth having severe dental problems? And would you be up for the idea of possibly Britt Baker giving him a visit? Because I hear Britt Baker is a dentist. Who knew?
No fucking way.
You're fucking mind blown, mate. Cannot believe it. Either way, let us know what you liked, what you didn't like. If there's anything you like about the format of the video, let us know. If there's something you don't like, let us know. Try and be respectful, obviously, but we're open to criticisms. We're open to your advice as well, because ultimately we are for the fans. Hashtag get plugged in, of course, as always. Make sure you check us out social media at WrestlePlugged. Like, comment, subscribe, all the nonsense. You know the routine. Just hit the bell so you know when the next video is coming. It'll just make your life so much easier, and we will love you for it. Either way, thank you very much for listening to the Raw review, and we'll catch you very soon for more nonsense from the WrestlePlug.